Hello, I'm Robert, helping you if you're scared of many things by fact-checking. And this time, it's to help people who are Catholic who get scared of false prophecies. It's a simple explanation of what Catholics believe about Jesus' return, and it's not the rapture. So this is to help you if you are a Catholic and got scared of a rapture prophecy. Catholics say the rapture doctrine is false. So Catholics do believe in the resurrection of the dead, and that good people who have died will go to heaven. And Catholics do believe that when Jesus returns, good people who are still alive go to heaven and join the people who died, and they all live in heaven after Jesus returns. Catholics don't believe in the rapture. The rapture idea is very complicated, and it is not in the Bible. In the rapture idea, rapture believers think that Jesus returns 2 times. The Bible never says that Jesus returns 2 times. Rapture believers think that the first time Jesus returns, he hovers in the clouds and doesn't come to talk to people on earth. Rapture believers think that 1 billion Christians will float up to heaven without dying first, and they usually mean that quite literally, just floating up in the air when Jesus returns the first time. And then rapture believers think Jesus then goes away for 1,000 years and then comes back again properly a second time 1,000 years later. So Catholics don't believe any of these things. Most Catholics think that Jesus won't return until after all the Jews in Israel believe in Jesus. The Catholic Catechism says in 673 that Jesus is able to return at any moment, at any time. But then in 674 it says but that the return of Jesus is delayed until all the Jews in Israel believe in Jesus. So by 674, Jesus' return can't happen today because Jews in Israel don't believe in Jesus. And the actual text of the Catholic Catechism is here. 673. Since the Ascension, Christ's coming in glory has been imminent, even though it's not for you to know times or seasons which the Father has fixed by his own authority. This eschatological coming, eschatological means end of times, could be accomplished at any moment, even if both it and the final trial that will precede it are delayed, in inverted commas. So what that is saying is that that Christ, that's Jesus, his coming has been imminent, and it could be accomplished at any moment, that at any moment Jesus could return, even though it is delayed. And 674 explains why it's delayed. It says, the glorious Messiah's coming is suspended at every moment in history. So suspended means it's just waiting for Jesus to come at every moment until his recognition by all of Israel. So that's until all of Israel recognizes Jesus. And then it says, for a hardening has come upon part of Israel in their unbelief towards Jesus. So what this is saying is that until all of Israel recognize Jesus, then Jesus is not going to return. And Jews don't think Jesus was their Messiah. And there's not even the slightest suggestion that Jews are going to change their mind on that. And there are lots of Jews in Israel, and there just is not even the slightest hint that Jews in Israel are going to decide that Jesus is their Messiah. So that means that for the Catholics, that Jesus returning is suspended. And Jesus is just waiting. He just could return at any moment, but is not going to return because the Jews don't recognize Jesus. Now, Catholics don't have to say, I believe in everything in the Catechism, but it's guided by the Catholic Church to help them to interpret the Bible's teachings, and for sure the Pope would believe this. So that is why it's absolutely certain, and then you get Catholics explaining in detail that Catholics don't believe in the rapture, and they don't think that Jesus' return, they think it's imminent, it could happen at every moment, but they don't think it is actually going to happen right now. And they think much more in terms of when you personally are going to die. And so you get Catholics that think it's important to confess before you die, to have a final confession before you die. But not to worry too much about that either, because Jesus sees to your hearts. It's not really the confession that a priest does is just kind of facilitating something that happens anyway. And they explained a bit about that with people who are worried that because of COVID that they wouldn't be able to have a last confession with the priest. Of course, you get people die in accidents and all sorts of things, so don't worry about these things. You just do what you can. And so anyway, I've got a couple of links for people who are worried about date setting and the Bible. Then there are no dates in the Bible for Jesus' return. And he didn't give prophecies for our time 2,000 years later, and it says very clearly that nobody knows the date of Jesus' return. And not the Father, it's the Father, only the Father does, not the Son, and not the angels, not the authors of the Bible. This also means that you can't find the date in the Bible, because if you could find the date in the Bible, you would know it, but nobody knows. It means there are no codes in the Bible, because if you could find a code in the Bible, you would know it. And again, only God the Father knows, not someone who's been hunting in the Bible for a code, and not the people who wrote the Bible, and not the angels, and nobody else. And so that's this bit about no codes in the Bible. And this is about how, this is a bit about the rapture, but I've already explained that Catholics don't believe in the rapture. And actually, most organised churches don't believe in the rapture. The rapture was a new idea in 19th century United States. And it works, and it's and this is not an idea that Catholics believe. It's not an idea, and Eastern Orthodox also say that the rapture is a false doctrine, and the Presbyterians say that, and the Anglican Church, and as I said, the Catholics say that. Most organised religions, organised branches of Christianity say that the rapture doctrine is a false doctrine. So and yet it's those people who tend to be most scared by the rapture doctrine, even though they usually don't know this, even though their own church says it's a false doctrine. So I hope this helps those of you who have got scared of the rapture, who are Catholic, and Catholics say very clearly the Pope and everyone it just doesn't fit. And also the idea that you could work out dates for Jesus' return, or that you could say that Jesus is going to return in the very near future, when it's clear that that his return must still be suspended, because all the Jews in Israel, they haven't recognized Jesus as their Messiah. So please don't be scared, and you shouldn't be. And also, it's just so sad that Christians should be scared of Jesus. You should not be scared of Jesus if you're a Christian. And Jesus is love, kindness, hope, generosity, opening you out to good ways of behaving and living in the world. And Jesus' teachings in Christianity are teachings of hope and promise and love and kindness. And if you are following those teachings, then you are following Christianity. And so please just follow the teachings of Christianity. Don't listen to these people who are teaching you what Catholics say is a false doctrine about the rapture. You can you've got much better ways of spending your life than being scared of this false doctrine.